About 3 months ago, I came down to BCA Perry Bar to pick up a car just during a lockdown. So what's going on at the auctions? Are they open? Can the general public buy from the auction? What is the current state of play at BCA, Aston, Bartley and Mannheim? As you can see, I'm down at Perry Bar and it is still shut. The gates are still locked. That van, the battery, I'm sure must be dead by now. It's been there 3 months, hasn't it? Still there. The weeds have even grown over the side. As you can see, the auction centre over the back is open, but it's only open to the trade. You must have a trade account and you must be able to bid online. So if you're a private punter, you cannot buy unless you use a service like mine. That's obviously good news for me. I was also chatting with one of the security guards and I said, when are the auctions going to open again for the general public or even traders to come along and have a look at the cars? And he said to me, from what they understand, they will not open before the end of October. What happens if there's a second spike? There's every chance the auctions will not open this year, and I'd be surprised if they open in the future too, like they used to. And it's pretty much the same at Aston, Bartley and Mannheim as well. The most difficult part about buying an auction at the moment is definitely down to the collection process. Every single auction centre is working completely differently to one another, and that's the same within, for instance, the BCA group. I'm down at Perry Bar today and it's took me 3 days to get a release code so I can pick up the car. That's quite a while actually. It's a bit of a pain in the backside, and it's Saturday morning when I'm here as well, so I've had to come and work Saturday just to pick a car up. Otherwise it would have gone into Monday, wouldn't it? If I was to buy a car at BCA Bellevue in Manchester, they've got 2 car parks, and it depends where your car is parked on whether you can pick the car up that same day, the next day, or you need to book an appointment, and some of those I've seen from 2 to 5 working days, so they're quite difficult as well. And that's after we've obviously paid for the car and requested the release codes, and then you've got to try and tie in a driver as well that can pick that car up around that time. So Bellevue said to us, if it's in the 1 car park, you can come down and pick the car up, but you might have a bit of a wait. You've got to hang about while someone picks that car for you, and drivers don't want to hang about around the auction centre, especially if it's took them 3 hours to get there in the first place. They've got to pick the car up, do the inspection, make sure it's okay, matches the condition and assured report. Then they've got to drive to the customer, then they've got to get home. It can make it a very, very long day, especially when you think some of our cars that we pick up, we had one go from Mannheim, Wimbledon, all the way up to Stirling in Scotland. You know, these are long journeys, and we send those over to Ireland, to the port as well. So it makes it a long day, and sometimes some of these deliveries are taking us 2 days just to get them to where we need to get them to, and that's once we've got the release codes and once we've got the driver in place. Challenging times, guys, challenging times, and I don't think it's going to get a lot easier. I'm pretty sure we won't see the auctions open this year. I'll be amazed if they do. Just think about it this way. There's going to be cars going through an auction hall with people crowding around inspecting those cars, especially the cheapies, especially the £500,000 sort of stuff. They're going to want to look at the engine, aren't they? You imagine 10, 20 people racing around a car when they've got 1 minute prior to an auction to do that inspection. I can't see that happening, can you? I just cannot see that happening. So as long as you are in the trade and you hold trade accounts with the auction centres, you are able to buy. We can't obviously do physical inspections, so we are reliant on those condition reports and assured reports. So if spending some proper money, make sure the vendor is a decent vendor or it has an assured report. Decent vendors like the BMW Open Group, it does not matter if it doesn't have an assured report. They're normally top quality cars. If you're buying a newish one within 3 years, you're going to have manufacturer's warranty as well, aren't you? But always consider getting a warranty on any car you buy. It makes sense, doesn't it? It's safety, isn't it? We provide our customers trade price warranties. But yeah, I'm down at Perry Bar, very quiet here, just a few dealers picking up their cars, getting them ready for their pitches. Plenty of space about, so they're turning the cars round. And I was speaking to one of the auction guys, and he said to me as well that in, I think it was last month, that they normally would expect to do 18,000 cars. And even during lockdown, with only 36% of the staff in the auction centre, across the auction centre. That's the BCA group. That's what I understand. It's not hard and fast figures, but that's what I understand. Only 36% of staff in. They did 17,000 cars, so only 1,000 cars down, considering what we're currently going through worldwide. So is it a good time to buy a car at auction? Of course it is, because you don't have the private buyer competition. So if you're looking for a car, it is a great time to pick one up. The prices aren't lower, the prices aren't particularly higher, but they're consistent. If you're buying something pre-facelift, something a little bit older, you're going to get yourself a deal. If you're buying something newer in a good quality condition, just bear in mind you're sometimes competing against the car supermarkets, against the franchises, but that's always been the case. It's nothing new. It's nothing new. That's always been the case, and you'll pay strong money for strong, high quality, desirable cars. But you'll always do that. It doesn't matter what time of year it is. So is now a good time to buy? Of course it's a good time to buy. The private competition isn't there. We haven't got the private punter overpaying for the car against the trade. So the prices can be keen. We've just got to be careful on what we buy. If you're going to bid for nice stuff, you're always going to pay strong money. It doesn't matter what time of year it is. It'll always still work out cheaper than going to a franchise, won't it? Than buying off the forecourt. So if you want to save a bit of money, look at the car buying service that we offer. We've got the lads in the office who can look after you there. So it's interesting times at the auction. We're increasing our retail stock. We're going to sell more and more retail cars. And I'll tell you why. Because there is a demand for private vehicles, isn't there? People are being told, don't use the buses, don't use the trains. They're breeding grounds for the coronavirus, aren't they? So it is a great time for you to get out there and buy a car. If you're looking at getting into the trade, now's a good time as well, because as I say, we're finding that our stock turn, our market turn is a lot quicker than it was prior to the lockdown. So it's a good time to be a car trader. It's a good time to get into the business. The difficult bit you'll find if you're brand new into the business is that getting an account with the auction centre is a slow process, and they may not give you the facility to bid and buy online. But again, sign up to my 100 club, or come to me to help you source cars, and I can do that on your behalf for you, like I always do. Interesting, I'm going to drive his car back to the unit. I'm going to show you something I've just invested the best part of £15,000 into to make my life easier. What is it? It's coming up very shortly, and I've got a time-lapse video of it as well. It's probably a touch boring, so I'll stick it on a bit super quick, but that's coming up in a second for you. also had this fitted as well, a spin it turntable, just to try and speed up our time photographing the cars and filming the cars, because we know photos and videos sell cars, don't we? So get them done right, get them done nice. Inquiries will come and the cars will sell. We need to do something with that back wall. We had a thought about maybe putting some sort of graffiti across there, or should we go for a plain background, or should we go for something that sort of is reflective? I don't know. What do you recommend? Leave me a comment in the section below telling me what you would put across the back wall. Maybe just completely white, maybe an offset colour. I like the graffiti style idea. It'll help us stand out on Auto Trader and all the other sites, but I'm still not quite sure. Tell me in the comment section below, what would you do?